And good afternoon. My name is Konstantinos. I am an Emirates wannabe, and the particular video is dedicated to all the Emirates wannabes around the world, all the aspired Emirates camping crew, and I have taken the initiative to make the particular video as it in essence is a part of my preparation for my next Emirates Open Day in Cyprus, but I believe it should be a part of your preparation for the Emirates, for your Emirates camping crew Open Day or invitation only day preparation. And in essence, especially if you had the opportunity to receive the golden call from Emirates human resources, let's say, department, then especially in this occasion you should know what the Federal Degree Law number 33 of 2021 regarding the regulation of employment relationships and its amendments includes. And I am more specifically I am referring to the Federal Degree Law number 33 of 2021 of the United Arab Emirates Ministry of Human Resources and Emiratization. So, in the case that you are going to be an employee of the Emirates Aviation Group, then what this implies that you will work in Dubai, in the city of Dubai, and in essence in the Emirate of Dubai, and in essence in the United Arab Emirates. So you will need to relocate in Dubai. You will be under the law, the federal law of the United Arab Emirates, and also in order for you to be able to work in the United Arab Emirates under the Emirates Aviation Group, you will need two distinct visas, the residency visa and the employment visa. And in general, it's good for you to know what the Federal Degree Law number 33 of 2021 say. And let's continue. You will be binded by the particular role. Contents: Federal Degree Law number 33 of 2021, and it's been composed of 74 articles plus let's say plus additional articles, plus how many are? Plus 12 additional articles under the Cabinet Resolution number 92 of 2022. And as we see here, powers of the Cabinet, Article 70, the Ministry's powers, Article 44, cases of the workers' dismissal without notice, employment contract termination cases, Article 42. So there are a lot of articles in the particular law. That means you see, Article 17, working hours, Article 16, workers' obligations. What else? Article 7, work permits. Article 8, employment contract. I believe in order for you to be able to work in the United Arab Emirates, for example, under the Emirates Aviation Group, then you need to have in prior a 2 or 3 years employment contract from the Emirates Aviation Group. And let's say Article 6, recruitment and employment of workers. What I try to say is that yes, it's a very good thing for you to always try to try and have to always have a nice financial status, to always try to improve your financial situation. Yes, it will be a good experience. It will be very nice for you if you manage to receive an employment contract from the Emirates Aviation Group. You will be able to receive a band of certificates from the Emirates Aviation Academy, from the Aviation College of Emirates. You will be able to maybe you will be able to have a lifetime experience. At first, attending the Emirates Aviation College. At second, working side by side as a trainee with an experienced Emirates cabin crew, and finally to be able to work as a full-fledged Emirates cabin crew and be able to travel around the world, be able to see various destinations around the world, and also be able to witness the Dubai lifestyle, and also have the benefits of an Emirates cabin crew, like free accommodation, free on-the-job transportation, free cleaning and ironing of your on-the-job uniform, tax-free salary, very wealthy, in my opinion, tax-free salary. But at the same time, you need to know your rights and your obligations to the company, always under the federal degree law of the United Arab Emirates. And again, the law that we are going to see now is the Federal Degree Law number 33 of 2021 regarding the regulation of employment relationships, regarding the regulation of employment relationships and its amendments. And always remember, you will be a private let's say you will be a private sector employee. There are no unions. There are no labor unions in the middle. So it's you from the one side, and it's Emirates Aviation Group from in the other side. And I assume any disputes will be held. Any disputes between the employer side and the employee side will be set on court. I mean, any disputes will be if there are any disputes, let's say for the working conditions, for the benefits and so on, for the contract terms, let's say, and conditions, are able only to be held upon a United Arab Emirates federal court, let's say. That's why we need to know the laws and the regulations, and also we need to know the company regulations in order for us to avoid any mistakes and avoid any possible conflicts with the company and with the United Arab Emirates federal law. And I believe I will not cover the whole law today because there are a lot of articles. There are ample articles. So let's start with definitions and objectives. And if I have time, I mean, my goal is to have 20 or 30 minutes videos at a time in order for me to be engaging with you and for you to keep your motivation to see the video from the first second up to the last second. So definitions. What are the definitions? In the definitions define. Let's go to the definitions in order for you to understand what I'm going to say to you. And again, Federal Degree Law number 33 of 2021 regarding the regulation of employment relationships. And here it says Federal Degree Law number 33 of 2021 regarding the regulation of employment relationships. We, Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the United Arab Emirates, state, after reviewing the Constitution, and here are the federal laws, based on the proposal of the Minister of Human Resources and Emiratization and the approval of the Cabinet, issued the following decree law. Article 1. Definitions. In the application of the provisions hereof, the following terms and expressions shall have the meaning assigned to each of them unless the context requires otherwise. So, in the law, in the law context, in the law document, every time we see the specific words, so we have the word state, for example, and we see in the left hand side is the word in bold letters state. In the right side is a word or a band of words that in plain that it's not in bold. Okay, so each time from thereof, each time we see the word state in the document context means United Arab Emirates. Else, if the document context wants to say something else, want to apply something else, then we'll say, for example, state and parentheses the other word. Ministry. Every time we say ministry, that means the Ministry of Human Resources and Emiratization. Minister. Every time we see the word minister, means Minister of Human Resources and Emiratization. Private sector. Every time we see the words private sector, means companies, institutions, establishments, or any other entities wholly owned by individuals or in partnership with federal or local government. Companies and institutions wholly owned by the federal or local government, unless the laws of their establishment stipulate that they shall be subject to the provisions of another law. Every time we see the word establishment, that means every economic, technical, industrial, commercial unit or other categories approved in the state, employing workers and aiming at producing goods, marketing them, or providing services and licensed by the competent authorities. And please remember, every time we see the word state, that means the United Arab Emirates. Let's continue. Employer, every natural or legal person who employs one or more workers in return for a wage. So a natural person, okay, by Cyprus law, I will speak by the perspective of the Cyprus law. A natural person is for example, a natural person is me, Konstantinos. A legal person is a company or an organization, a legal entity. Let's move on. Worker. Anytime we see the word worker in the law, that means every natural person authorized by the ministry to work for one of the licensed establishments in the state under supervision and direction of the employer. And remember, ministry is the Ministry of Human Resources and Emiratization of the United Arab Emirates, of the state. It's the Ministry of the state. Okay. Okay. Juvenile. I believe I pronounced it correctly. Every person who has reached 15 years old but has not yet exceeded 18 years old. Without me knowing more information, I take this word to have the meaning of the minor. So I believe juvenile is like we say minor. Let's continue. Work. Every human intellectual, technical, or physical effort performed according to different types of work. Every human effort, intellectual effort, technical effort, or physical effort, performed according to different types of work, and work permit and document issued by the ministry, which ministry again is the Ministry of Human Resources and Emiratization of the state. And again, the state is the United Arab Emirates. Work permit and document issued by the ministry according to which a natural person is allowed to work for the licensed establishment. Let's continue. A lot of definitions. So a lot of definitions, so today I will stay to the definitions only, and from the next video I will continue with Article 2 and onwards. Okay. Because again, I would like the video to be as short as possible and as engaging as possible with you. Employment contract. Every agreement concluded between the employer and worker under which the latter is committed to working for the service of the employer and under its supervision and guidance in consideration of a wage payable by the employer in accordance with the standard contract forms defined by the implementing regulation hereof. Okay. And okay, as we see here, the worker, the employer, and the worker. So every time you see the word employer and the worker, every time you see any of the particular words in the definitions article that are included in the definition. Okay, let me say it differently. Every time we see a word that is included in bold in the definitions article and is included in the description, yes, every time we see a word that is included in the definitions article but in bold letters and is included in the either in the rest of the document context or is included in the non-bold side of the definitions article, in the right side, this side here. Then the meaning of the word is the meaning of the word in bold. Okay, every time you see in the loan document, in the whole context of the document, the word ministry means the Ministry of Human Resources and Emiratization. Okay, nothing else. And let's continue. I believe I have set the employment contract. Yes. Probationary period. The period that may be required by the employer which enables the latter to evaluate the performance of the worker, that allows the worker to become familiar with his job duties and the work environment, according to which the employment contract is either continued or terminated as per the provisions hereof. So the law allows the employer to at the beginning, at the early stages of the employment contract, to employ the worker under a probationary period. And if the worker you see, we don't see the word employee, we see the word a worker, because according to the law we have the employer and the worker, not the employer and the employee. So in essence, from my point of view, by the United Arab Emirates Federal Decree Law number 33 of 2021 is either the business side, the employer side, or the worker side, not the employee side. So we do not have employer and employee. We have employer and worker. So keep in mind. Okay. Let's continue. Not a probationary period. So by law, the employer have the federal right to terminate the contract of a worker if the worker is not performing under, not under, in accordance, how to say, with his job duties, according to which the employment contract is either continued or terminated as per the provisions hereof. So, according to there are provisions in the law that indicate, I believe, that indicate under what terms, under what provisions an employer may terminate a contract or continue to how to say, there are provisions in the law, in the articles of the law, that indicate under what circumstances, let's say, an employer may terminate the contract in the probationary period, and under what provisions, under what circumstances, let's say, under what provisions, whatever. I don't know if I am using the correct words. An employer may continue the employment of a worker. And the notice period specified in the employment contract, which requires both parties to the contract to abide by it, in case either of them wishes to terminate the employment contract. So there is a notice period. If the worker wish to terminate the employment contract, there is a notice period that he or she needs to provide to the employer, and vice versa. If the employer is wishing to terminate the contract, then there is a probation, there is a notice period that he needs to provide to the worker. Basic wage, the wage stipulated in the employment contract, which is paid to the worker in consideration of his work under the employment contract on a monthly, weekly, daily, hourly, or piecework basis, and which does not include any other allowances or benefits in kind. So like Emirates includes by law, benefits by law, as we see, includes basic salary, so many dirham per month, flying pay, so many dirham per hour. So this is by law, you see. The wage stipulated in the employment contract, which is paid to the worker in consideration of his work under the employment contract on a monthly and hourly basis. So, monthly basis, hourly basis. Let's continue. Wage. The basic wage. Basic wage. The basic wage, in addition to the cash allowances and benefits in kind, allocated to the worker under the employment contract or this degree law and its decree. But I believe the phrase, the words degree law, it's what we take from the United States, because I believe they are also have the degree law pronunciation. Let's say degree law, okay. under the employment contract or this degree law, and which may include benefits in kind that the employer should grant to the worker or their cash benefits in kind that the employer should grant to the worker or their cash equivalent if allocated as part of the wage in the employment contract or the establishment's bylaws. So you see allowances. What you see in the official Emirates Group Careers website for the cabin crew employment. Meal allowances for night stops are credited to the salary in arrears the following month. Hotel accommodation as well as transport to and from the airport is provided by the company. So these are form of allowances offered from the employer, the Emirates Aviation Group, by law. So as we see here, the allowances that the worker is entitled to obtain in return for his effort, the risks he is exposed to while performing his work, or for any other reasons, or the allowances granted to meet the cost of living, a percentage of sales, or a percentage of the profits paid for what the worker markets, produces, or collects. So, as we see, the meal allowances for night stops and the hotel accommodation as well as transport to and from the airport are a form of let's see again, are part of benefits in kind that the remember this word, that the employer should grant to the worker or their cash equivalent if allocated as part of the wage in the employment contract or the establishment's bylaws. Let's continue. Working day. The official working day defined by the implementing resolutions of this degree law. Okay, almost finished. Workplace. The work location agreed upon in the employment contract or in which the worker undertakes the agreed tasks and services for the employer. So let me have a pause here, 1 second, 1 minute, not once, just to drink a bit of cola. Okay, I will be right back. And let's continue. Continue service. Uninterrupted service with the same employer or its legal successor from the date of commencement of work. Each worker receiving a daily wage. So I understand by this that there are some how to say, the time, that there are some employers in the United Arab Emirates that are able to pay their workers under a daily wage scheme. Work injury: being exposed to one of the occupational diseases specified in the table issued by a resolution of the Cabinet, or any other injuries arising therefrom due to or occurring in the course of work. An injury should be considered a work injury if it is proven that the accident happened to the worker during the period of this commute if it is proven that the accident happened to the worker during the period of his commute to and from work without interruption or deviation from the normal route. Being exposed to one of the occupational diseases specified in the table issued by the resolution of the Cabinet, or any other injuries arising therefrom due to or occurring in the course of work. An injury should be considered a work injury if it is proven that the accident happened to the worker during the period of his commute to and from work without interruption or deviation from the normal route. So, a work injury is considered any injury that a worker may have is considered a work injury if it is proven that the accident happened to the worker during the period of his commute to and from work. So, by the time that you are going to step inside a bus, an Emirates bus, that will take you from your accommodation and bring you, for example, to the Emirates headquarters, and thereof, if in the Emirates headquarters you take a second bus to the Dubai International Airport, to from work without, and thereof, if inside the Dubai International Airport, if the Emirates cabin crew always follow a standard route in order for them to have a check-in and go to the pre-briefing rooms, venues, let's say, and thereof, if they follow from the pre-briefing venues, if they follow a standard route in order for them to go inside the assigned aircraft for the assigned duty, in this route, if an accident take place to the worker, that means to the cabin crew, to a specific cabin crew, then according to law, this is a work injury. And I believe there is a table that is specifying occupational diseases, and the table is issued by a resolution of the Cabinet, or any other injuries arising therefrom due to or occurring in the course of work. And there are also, in addition to the work injuries that might take place during the work commute, to a specified work commute, there are additional work injuries specified by a specific table issued by a resolution of the cabinet. By a resolution of the cabinet. And in addition, there are and might be additional injuries arising from the occupational diseases specified in the particular table due to or occurring in the course of work. And the medical entity, so that's why in the case that you are able to land in Golden Call and be able to travel to Dubai and work for Emirates, then that's the reason for you to use the work routes specified by Emirates, and also that's why you should use the work transit specified provided by Emirates, in order for you, if there is an injury, if an injury takes place during your work commute or during the time that during the course of work, then to be able, for example, to receive the proper medical treatment, to be entitled for the proper medical treatment, because you are going to be under you will be lawful. You will be under, the injury will be considered as a work injury. To be honest, I cannot say very happy, but I am pleased that by trade I am not a lawyer or a legal consultant. And let's continue to conclude the video. Medical entity, any federal or local government entity concerned with health affairs or any private health establishment. Again, I will read with a steady pace. Medical entity, any federal or local government entity concerned with health affairs or any private health establishment licensed to provide health services in the state. And the state is the United Arab Emirates. Workers' family. Who is considered as a worker's family? Spouse, sons and daughters. This is very important, in my opinion. Individual labor disputes, every dispute arising between the employer and worker alone, whose subject is related to this decree law, is implementing its implementing regulation and the resolutions issued for its implementation. Collective labor disputes, every dispute arising between an employer and its workers, whose subject is related to a common interest of all workers or a group of them. Like we say, collective agreements. We also have collective labor disputes, and it's what is a collective labor dispute? Every dispute arising between an employer and its workers whose subject is related to a common interest of all workers or a group of them. So there might be a dispute between all the parsers working for the Emirates Aviation Group and the Emirates Aviation Group. The dispute may be the working hours or the benefits. So such a dispute, if it follows the legal route, is called collective labor dispute. Okay, and this is Article 1 of the law, definitions. I believe in any law, in any country, in any law system around the world, at first let's say the lawmakers have included the definitions, and after the definitions we see the law body. So the Cyprus in Cyprus, okay, each law at first have the definitions and then the law body or the law conducts. And in any case, this is Konstantinos, and thank you for watching the particular video. See you on the next one. I believe we will be able to see maybe Article 2, Article 3, now we at this video we are able to see Article 1, which is page 10, 11, 12. Let's say in the next video we are going to see at least Article 2, objectives, and Article 3, scope of application. And a lot of respect to all the employers out, to all the lawyers out there. A lot of respect, because as I see, you have a lot of work and also a difficult work to do. I mean, you have a lot of it. Anyway, again, this is Konstantinos. Thank you for watching and see you on the next video. Have a nice and wonderful day.